Okay, what's up? We're gonna react to another video called How Police Captured a Killer Soldier 7 years later. So, yeah, let's check it out.
Out off of Southeast Main Street,
Dude looks like a bitch. I have to be honest. I'm sorry.
there was a body that was found in the house, okay? We were able to say that it is Cat, okay? I'm so sorry for your loss, sir.
This is 28-year-old John Blauvelt, learning that his missing wife was discovered in an abandoned house, brutally murdered, surrounded by satanic markings. However,
Damn.
John had a disturbing secret he couldn't tell the interviewer that day.
I might put her down.
Using his military experience, he carried out a near-perfect murder that kept detectives one step behind for years. By the
Damn.
time investigators began to narrow in on him, John was already long gone, living in a new state, in a new house.
No, look at that shit, bro. Honestly, that shit is so fucking weird, to be honest. Like, look at him. Look at his face. First, he looked like a bitch over here. Forget it.
Running away with his 17-year-old girlfriend and seemingly getting away for good.
This defies any kind of logic that I have experienced in my 62 years on this earth.
What if I told you that your cell phone did ping somewhere other than where you say you were?
It's 2:15 p.m. on October 24th, 2016. 22-year-old Katie Blauvelt is captured on CCTV inside her workplace. Her shift is soon coming to an end, and she's planning to meet her mother at 3 p.m. that same day. She leaves, calls her mother, and takes a selfie, unaware it's the last photo she ever takes. Not long after, her phone pings a location for the last time, and Katie disappears without a trace. 5 hours passed by. It's now
Wait, what happened?
unaware it's
How did she
the
disappear?
last photo she ever takes.
Okay.
Not long after, her phone pings a location for the last time, and Katie disappears without a trace.
Damn, so something happened
5
there.
hours passed by. It's now 7 p.m., and Katie never arrived for dinner with her mother. Worried, the mother and other
American
family...
neighborhood is so different, my guy. I'm not from
5 hours
America,
passed
so
by.
seeing this is
It's
so
now 7
different. The
p.m.,
design and everything.
Katie never arrived for dinner with her mother. Worried, the mother and other family members try calling her multiple times, but her phone has no signal. At 7:48 p.m., Katie's mother reports her missing. Officers, friends, and family mobilize to look for her, and the search officially begins. But this left detectives with a critical 5-hour gap in the timeline, one they would spend months trying to piece together. 10 hours would go past without any clues about Katie's whereabouts. Then, at 12:33 a.m., the police receive an unexpected call. One of Katie's friends is on the line, claiming he's just found her body, dead, inside an abandoned house deep in a nearby
Yeah, it's him.
forest.
Centerville 911, what's location of
First of all, people gotta stop being stupid. Like, first of all, how do you just... Do you think it's a coincidence that a friend of the person that went missing suddenly finds that same person in the woods someplace? You know what I'm saying? That connection right there says it all. So that friend is the one who killed her, and it's the killer soldier. What happens if I click on it? Damn, that's... I never seen that. Okay.
emergency?
I'm at Discover Church across from it in the woods.
You're at Discover Church across from where?
In the woods across from it.
You're in
I was worried about my friend, Katie, and she went missing. She's been missing for a while now, and she came in this house that we used to all hang out in, and
Yeah, that sounds believable.
she, you know,
Quickly, medics and police rush to the address of an abandoned house deep in the woods.
No, but that's so weird though. It is him because if he was actually, if he wasn't the killer, right? Then he would have had to check that house a lot sooner and found her, right? So it wouldn't have gone months before the police found her. You know what I'm saying? So when a few months go by, because how do you after a few months then come up with the idea that, oh, we used to all hang out at this spot, let's just go there and chill out, let's not no let's go and let's check if she's there. It don't make sense. So it's obvious that it was him.
Quickly, medics and police rush to the address of an abandoned house deep in the woods. Upon arriving at the scene, officers notice multiple graffiti marking
That shit
boards.
remind me of The Last of
Upon
Us. Look at
arriving-
that. Y'all ever play that game? All the plants and everything is just on the houses like this. Damn. What's that, bricks?
At the scene, officers notice multiple graffiti.
Yeah, so the body where she was found had this Satan symbol, right? Like these demonic things. And then there's this demonic graffiti on the house too. So whether they worshipped the devil or whatever, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I want to know more about that. I'll just wait. I need to cook my food, but I want to know more about the demonic things, because that shit is just really weird. Why they're what's the connection behind that? You know what I'm saying? So I really want to know more about that. Just wait a second. I'm gonna cook my food. I'm doing this live. Like I don't edit my videos. I don't want to edit my videos. I like being able to just record and then upload. I like doing that because it saves a lot more time. You don't actually need to edit, you know, especially when you do reaction videos. If it's necessary to edit, then you have to edit, right? But right now it isn't necessary. So that's why I want to just record, you know what I'm saying? So you can just skip ahead a few seconds till I talk about the video game if you don't want to wait. It isn't that long. I'm soon finished with cooking food. I'm just gonna heat my food in the oven. So right now, yeah. A killer soldier. That's fucking weird, honestly. So yeah, dude maybe got an addiction with killing people. Oh, we don't know. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. So it says killer soldier. So that means he must have done this a lot before, killing people outside of military service. So I really want to know about that. Soon I'll add a face cam and everything, but I'm not gonna show my face. I'm gonna have like a ski mask on, because, or maybe I'll show my face. I'll show my face later, but right now I'll just I just need to get a face cam, get a better mic. I'm right now using a MacBook Air, so it's the mic inside the laptop, because it isn't really, for me it's not really that necessary to have this expensive mic and all that, and good camera quality, because what you care about is the content. You care about the content more than the quality of the video, the quality of the mic. You know what I'm saying? Those don't make sense to me, because that's why I'm not gonna do it. I'll rather just record with the Mac, and later when I get to do other stuff like gaming and all that. I don't have a TV right now where I live. I don't have a TV. I just have this laptop. So when I get my own TV, get my own PlayStation, then we can go crazy. We can go crazy. We can do all type of things. So yeah.
Graffiti markings, including apparent satanic symbols. Soon after, they identify the caller as Wayne Roper, a friend of Katie who leads them into the basement of the abandoned house. There, officers find a large concrete box sealed with plywood. When they remove the cover, they're met with a horrifying sight. Katie's body lies inside.
Oh, it was there.
With a knife pierced through her neck and 16 stab wounds across her body.
Damn, what did
Lack
she
of
do? She
struggle
probably
and the
cheated
state
on
of
him
her
or something because, damn, 16. It's always the stab wounds. When there's a lot of stabs to a dead body, you know it's a lot of hate, a lot of rage behind that kill for sure. Not always, but most of the time it is. Like, if you kill someone with a knife, then you will probably do 3 stabs, 4 stabs. But when you do 16, yeah, that shit is crazy.
Clothing with her shirt pulled up and her lower clothes missing suggested a sexually motivated killing.
Oh shit.
All of these details point
Yeah, he
detectives
gotta go.
straight to Wayne as their first potential suspect.
Yeah, because
Pierced
yeah,
through
Wayne
her
is
neck
the.
and 16 stab
I
wounds
will
across her
suspect
body.
Wayne too.
The lack of struggle and the state of her clothing, with her shirt pulled up and her lower
swear,
clothes
bro,
missing,
these types of people, my
suggested
guy.
a sexually motivated killing.
Yeah.
All of these details point detectives straight to Wayne as their first potential suspect. But what they don't realize is that this is exactly what the killer wants them to think. Every detail
Damn.
of the scene has been arranged to send them chasing the wrong lead. Without realizing it, detectives have
Oh
walked
wow, so the
straight
Satan
into
thing.
the
So he's
killer's
probably into the demonic things. So that's why he graffitied all of that to lead them to him, right? So damn.
setup.
Yeah.
As the night went on, forensics revealed chilling details. Katie's body had been dragged to the basement and her phone was found submerged in water to destroy it. Wayne is detained and brought in for questioning. At the moment, detectives believe they have their killer and they're ready to push for a confession.
Wayne, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, brother. Hey, buddy. What's your name, pal?
Franklin Wayne River.
Sorry?
Franklin Wayne River.
You a Franklin or Wayne?
Think about it.
At this
Bruce
point,
Wayne.
Wayne believes he's been brought in to be questioned as a witness after the heartbreaking discovery, unaware that detectives are already convinced about his involvement in the murder and any
They're
statement he
convinced.
made.
It's like they're already decided that yeah, it's him. So it's funny that at the start he was calling him brother, what's up, brother, and all that. While he's convinced, he's decided, yeah, it's him, my guy.
Might be used against him.
I would have been convinced
You know
too.
why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how did you meet Katie? Just from the time you met her, kind of what your relationship was, and leading up until.
Yeah, they just want the whole story, all that, and they're gonna arrest him.
I first met her, we were friends at first, and then we dated for like a month or so, and then that's whenever
They don't believe.
I moved
They're not gonna
to
believe
Liberty with my dad,
him.
and we stayed in
Damn.
contact for a little bit, and then once I was with my dad's and went to North Carolina, we lost contact.
Detectives begin the interview by learning that Wayne and Katie were once together. But quickly, Wayne reveals something that would immediately put suspicion onto his name.
Maybe a
Yeah,
year later,
he's gonna get
Kate
arrested.
got married to John Wallbelt, and
Oh, it's that
then
killer
one
soldier.
night,
That's fucking weirdo.
she came and got with us with John. It was the first time I've seen her since I moved, and since then, John offered me to move in with them, a roommate, being $200 a month. And I
Damn, that's
took it
cheap
up
as fuck.
as a deal.
That's cheap though.
So you live with her and her
I
husband?
live in an expensive country, so $200 for rent a month, that's cheap. That's cheap as fuck compared to how much I'm paying right now. I'm paying in dollars. I'm paying right now $1,200 a month. $1,290 a month exact. That shit is expensive as fuck.
Yeah, it was
When was this? Do you remember when this was?
when I lived with him. It was before June this year.
As Wayne explains that he once dated Katie and later lived with her and her husband, detectives gain another reason to suspect.
It was so weird, yeah, because why would you want the ex? Because if you're John, you're dating Katie, and you get to know about the her ex, Wayne. Why would you want to invite him to live with them? Right? That's so weird. Like either you want to kill him, or you want to do some
Expect him.
sexually weird things.
Jealousy. And just as everything appears to be moving in the perfect direction for the real killer and his carefully constructed plan, Wayne makes a claim that complicates the investigation and may just be enough to ruin the killer's plan.
Living there, everything like going okay, you know. Then they started having arguments because of me, because she used to talk about me before, and she told me that he was jealous of me.
Yeah. So he wanted to kill him because if he wanted to do like sexual things with him too, then he wouldn't been mad when she talked about him. So we already know that he wanted to kill him. He would also want to kill him.
And their arguments started getting worse, and that was whenever he got drunk one night and he cussed her out, and he had her in the bathroom. They were just pretty much just screaming at each other. And from there, she ended up moving back with her mom, I think.
When did you and Katie, when you were living with John and Katie, were y'all being intimate with each other?
It was long once.
And John was there or not there?
Damn.
Yeah, it was like a threesome thing.
Ah!
And how did that come about?
What the fuck?
I was drunk and he was drunk, and it was her I did it. Like after that, like he changed.
If true,
Just
Wayne's
what
claims
the
about
fuck? How do you
John's
go
violent
from
behavior could shift
how do you go from that? From a threesome to freaking, I don't even want to say the word three. How do you go from that three thing to being jealous of him? That shit is so
suspicion
fucking weird.
towards him. But despite
Bro, a lot of people are just weird as fuck and just, yeah, they're sick as fuck. And he's one of them for sure. Damn.
Wayne's accusations, something still doesn't add up.
What
His
doesn't add up?
story,
It's freaking-
with its inconsistencies and gaps, keeps raising suspicions. Because prior to this interrogation, detectives learned that on the day of Katie's death, Wayne arrived late to work, and he admits to walking near the abandoned house around the time Katie disappeared. More importantly, while at work, Wayne was aware that Katie
Bro, if he lives there, right? Then isn't it suspicious that he was near, the house?
around the time Katie disappeared.
But of course, if he's a suspect, then that's suspicious because you were late to work and all that.
More importantly, while at work,
The roads in US are so different. Like, what the fuck is this, bro? What the fuck is this? You got all type of art. You got like, what is this planning? Like, I don't know. US roads are different though, for real. Damn. Damn, and they got some things up here. Damn.
abandoned house around the time Katie disappeared. More importantly, while at work, Wayne was aware that Katie might be inside that very house. Yet despite that suspicion, he never alerted authorities. Instead, he waited until the end of the day, went there himself, and only then called the police.
Yeah, then either he was on shore or could be in the bound. Yeah, maybe he was in on it, because how do you not report that immediately? Like, bro, you could have gone to work. You don't even need to be done with work to then come to the house. Bro, people are, what the fuck are they doing, my guy? You could have called the cops, tell them to check out the house. And yeah, bro, like, what the fuck is this, bro?
He waited until the end of the day, went there himself, and only then called the police.
And then he's gonna call. What the fuck are you?
Places Wayne squarely in the crosshairs of investigators, and unknowingly pushes them further into the real killer's trap. Because in the next few minutes, the interview will take a terrifying turn as detectives.
Another thing is, with the John guy, that killer soldier, it's obvious that this isn't the first time he's done that to a woman. like because in war, a lot of those weird people like John. A lot of people take the advantage of doing that in war, right? So it's obvious that since he's a soldier too and all that, this isn't his first time. Obviously, he's done that before a lot of times before doing that to Katie.
Unknowingly edge closer to forcing an innocent man into confession to a brutal murder that he never committed. But before we get to that, recently I'd been dealing with these headaches for 3 weeks.
We don't
For
care.
one
I'm sorry.
time, you can see their doctor's office. With that
Let's
said,
go.
let's get back to Wayne's interview, where detectives are on the verge of pushing an innocent man into a murder confession.
Why did you call the police?
I didn't think of it at the time. I didn't.
Did you know she was dead?
How do you, bro? That shit is so weird.
Why
That
did you
is
call the
weird, bro.
police?
Like, and the fact that he's gone a few months. If he's the ex though, right? So, if he was still in contact with her, and she was missing or all that, why after a few months he decides to check the house? That was weird, bro. It's
I didn't
weird.
think of it at the time. I didn't.
Did you know she was dead?
No.
Why would you think the best idea is for you to walk into what turns out to be her final resting place, where somebody murdered her and dumped her down there like a piece of trash?
Yeah,
You know why
right.
you didn't look in the bathroom?
We glanced in there with the flashlight. Like, if you're standing at the door of it, you can see in there.
You can't see in the tub. I'm telling you, I was up there in the day. Cause she wasn't in the tub. This defies any kind of logic that
Damn,
I have experienced in my 62
Damn,
years.
he's convinced, bro. He's like, yeah, he did that, bro.
This is too much.
I bet it is. Get it off of you then. I'm sure it is.
Get that confession, my guy.
You lay the burden down, that's the only way you'll be forgiven. You gotta say.
They're like, yeah, you did it, bro. Just tell us, bro.
What you gotta say. And I'll do it. But I'm not gonna do it on credit.
Bro, it's funny because these cops, like, obviously you don't like a guy that raped African woman and all that. So when he's acting all friendly, like, tell us, help me, say help me, we can all help you out, it's just so fake because obviously they just wanted his confession and arrest him. They want him out of here, So,
Suspicious of Wayne, but with him sticking to his story and no hard evidence, they couldn't yet arrest him.
they hated that
Instead,
thing
they
because they're
collected his
convinced it's him.
DNA and
He's
no
that
hard
type
evidence.
of. They think he's the one who did all that to Katie. So obviously, deep inside, they're like, "Fuck, bro, we gotta get him out of here."
They couldn't yet arrest
And
him.
they hate the fact that they
Instead,
can't arrest him
collected his
immediately.
DNA sample to compare with the DNA found underneath Katie's fingernails. But that's when,
Whoa,
just
whoa,
to
whoa,
figure
whoa,
hard
whoa.
evidence, they couldn't yet arrest him. Instead, they collected his DNA sample to compare with the DNA found underneath Katie's fingernails.
Oh, okay,
But
okay,
that's
okay. I
when,
thought his
just a few
DNA was
hours
under
after
her nails.
Wayne's interview, as police searched the area around the abandoned house, they stumble upon Katie's car. Only a few miles from the crime scene, left abandoned.
A few
upon
miles, bro. That shit is so close, bro. How is that a few miles? Yeah, look at that. This isn't a few miles, bro.
Katie's car, only a few miles from the
A random tree in the open field.
crime scene, left abandoned in a nearby parking lot. It looked as if she had left in a hurry, but the reason
Damn,
her
it's so
car
dirty.
ended up there would remain one of the biggest mysteries for the following
Yeah, but
months.
it's been there a while, so yeah, it's dirty.
Up to this point, everything was going according to the killer's plan. One designed and carried out by Katie's own husband, John
Look at this shit,
Blauvelt.
though.
But Wayne's comments about his jealousy pushed detectives to dig deeper. What they found was a restraining order filed months earlier after John had allegedly pulled a gun on Katie when she refused to give him her phone. For the first time,
Damn.
despite his efforts, officers were seriously beginning to suspect John. So the next day, on October 26th, detectives approach him at his office on the military next day.
Damn, this shit was in 2016. 7 years later. How did capture him 7 years later? So, oh, this has been ongoing for a while then. Damn. Damn. This wasn't a few months case, a few days, a few weeks. This lasted Damn.
On October 26th, detectives approach him at his office on the military base
Look at
where
this
he
fucking-
works.
You can judge a guy by his looks, by the way. You know this. You don't judge a book by its cover. It's fake. Like, you can judge a book by its cover, my guy. Trust me. If you look at this guy's face, not all the time. Like, there's a 1% chance that how you see a person from the cover of the book is not the book. You know what I'm saying? It's not the truth, but 99% of the time you can judge a book by its cover. Like, look at his face, look at his expression, all that. He's a bitch, my guy. He's one of those weirdo people. So yeah, you can already tell. If I looked at him and I was a cop, I knew he did it, my guy. When I looked at him, if I saw his face.
Their goal
sure. Look at
is
that, bro.
simple. Hear his side of the story, verify his alibi for the day Katie died, and see how he reacts
Man.
under pressure. For most perpetrators, this would be the moment everything starts to fall apart. But John isn't like the rest. He would play it perfectly.
Alright, well,
Hate this type of people.
they're out off of Southeast Main Street. There was a body that was found in a house, okay, an abandoned house. And at this point, we're able to say that it is Captain, okay? I'm so sorry for your loss, sir.
So
At
fucking
this
fake.
time, we are investigating, and we would investigate every death the same
Bro,
way.
random
Let's
tears,
go
bro. You're not
homicide
even
and work
random
our way
tears.
from there, okay? What the restraining order
People
did
can't even
was to
act
do
properly,
that.
bro.
This
Like,
is a charge
bro, tears gonna run down your eyes. Like, if tears gonna run down your eyes, then it's fucking fake, bro.
that I got back in February, domestic violence first degree.
Do you know if she had any
Listen to
issues
his
with any-
voice too, bro. Like, you just like analyze everything. Like his voice, his face, and all that. You already know, bro.
Domestic violence first degree.
Do you know if she had any issues with anybody? Anybody that wouldn't hurt her or anything like that?
No, and I know that she's been dating around, and it's whatever because I've been too. But
Notice how John intentionally directs detectives towards the
Yeah,
fact
exactly,
that Katie
bro.
is dating around.
He
Him
hated
pointing this
freaking
out
Wayne
isn't a
Roper.
coincidence. It's a strategy.
What the fuck
By
is that on my
controlling the
screen?
narrative this early, John is quietly planting a story that will protect him later.
did you work this Monday? Mm-hmm. What time did you get off Monday? Like 2:30ish, 2. I don't know. Did you stop anywhere on the way home?
Damn, if that was PM, he's living life, my guy. Like, being able to quit work early like that. Damn.
2:30ish, 2. I don't know. Did you stop anywhere on the way home? Let me ask you this: why were you looking for Katie? For Cheyenne. Cheyenne's right now. I'm just trying to help her out.
Fine, okay.
Who do you know that would want to do harm to her?
Myself.
You know,
Myself, my guy.
Redhead fella. Redhead? Yeah. Wayne? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's his story?
How is he redhead, bro? Like, it don't make sense. Like, how are people calling him redhead when he's blonde? Like, sometimes there's just glitches though. Like, how do they know? How do they see him as freaking redhead, bro? Two people, bro. Like, not even one of them was like wrong. Bro, it don't make sense. It's a real glitch though. But one guy, oh yeah, it's this redhead, Wayne Roper.
That's right. Mm-hmm. What do you do for the Army? Well, right now I just sit in this office, small office right now. Because of the civil investigation.
Yeah, look at this, bro. Like, we got these are the people that are protecting your country all the a freaking rapist, weirdo, loser. Yeah, bro. These are one of those types of people you got protecting your country, bro. That shit is sad as fuck, bro. That's one of those types of people right there, bro. If you live in America, bro, it's everywhere in the world though. It's not an American thing. But yeah, you gotta be aware of that shit though. You gotta be aware of
All my
that.
recruiting duties have been suspended. Are you familiar with this abandoned house?
No.
Okay, that's the spot. What's the spot? Hangout spot. Am I being charged with a crime? Because he's recording me, and I'm not comfortable with that. No. If I am, I'd like to contact a lawyer. Because this is uncomfortable.
Okay. You're not being charged. Okay. With a crime right now.
As the interview ends, John does something counterintuitive.
It's always that freaking if I'm arrested, then I gotta contact a lawyer. Because if you're arrested, then you can tell him like, I want to contact a lawyer. I want a lawyer, then you don't need to say anything at all, right? Then they just have to wait until your lawyer gets there, and then the lawyer gonna sort things out. But if you're not arrested, then you can just leave, honestly, I think. Yeah, if you're arrested, if not arrested, you're just detained, or just they want to question you, you can leave whenever you want, because you're not actually arrested, right? But I'm not sure how that plays out when you're not in like the police, the investigation, the interrogation room. I don't know how that plays out when they're coming in his office, if you're allowed to just say, get out, I'm not, yeah, I don't want to talk, you know what I'm saying?
You're not being charged, okay, with a crime right now.
And this is just America though. Like this isn't universal, so I'm not sure how this plays out in other countries. But America, it's like that for real.
Ends, John does something counterintuitive. He defends Wayne, the man he's secretly framing.
What
It's
the
a
fuck,
manipulation
man?
tactic
These
known
people,
as
like you had this all planned out, and you're doing this. I think what he was doing is like, bro, that is weird, bro.
reverse empathy. By showing compassion, he makes himself appear harmless and trustworthy. John's first
Yeah, that was his
interrogation
trick.
had gone almost perfectly, leaving detectives with little they could use against him. Still, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. With no evidence to hold him, he was...
Yeah, like, you know, your instincts, right? It always tells you, like, damn, it isn't right. There's something about that guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you follow your instincts and you look at him, you know it's him. You know what type of person he is. You when you just look at him, you know he's a weirdo. And then we heard about the threesome thing and all that. Damn, bro.
let go.
Always follow your instincts. Always follow your instincts.
And officers would turn to those closest to John and Katie, their friends and family, unaware that John had already influenced them.
Wow.
Detectives started with Crystal, Katie's best friend.
But how though? Like, are they in on it?
And at the time, also John's roommate. John knew exactly what to
John's roommate, yeah, he was doing things with her too, bro.
expect here. In his interrogation, he had already planted the idea that Katie was dating
He gotta take a shower. Look at that face, bro.
around. And Crystal, being one of Katie's close friends, also knew about her dating habits. His hope was that she would unknowingly reinforce this misdirection, steering suspicion towards anyone but him.
Alright, October 28th, 2016, 4:47 p.m. Cincinnati.
2016, bro. Damn, I was 12 years old, bro. 2016, bro. Damn.
Perfect. And like I said, all I ask is that we don't put John up here. And he's not the only suspect. You know, there's other people we're talking to and questioning. So, has he made any statements about I go to jail for Katie's murder?
He's just, I mean, he said that, you know, it sucks for him because he feels like he's gonna get in trouble for it. But, you know, he's like, I didn't do this, you know? Like, I'm tired.
Yeah, it don't make sense anyway, because if you didn't do it, then you don't need to feel like you're gonna get in trouble for it, right? So when he comes to someone like that and just says, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble for it even though I didn't do it, then bro, you did it, bro. Why do you feel it anyway?
Are people coming after me? See, me and John actually really do get a
Don't you feel for that, bro? Like, people are really stupid. Like, it's so real how stupid people are, bro. Like, how do you fall for that? Damn, bro. Damn, they think shit is sweet. I don't know. It don't make sense. It's another one of those glitch things, because how do you believe that?
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie about him. I don't. I'm gonna tell you the straight up truth. If he's acting weird, I'm gonna tell you, but it wasn't. I was.
It was, bro. And you didn't see. What the
I'm
fuck,
lying about
bro?
it. I really was. Just maybe a split second thought that it could have been John. But he's, ever since Katie's gone missing, he's made sure that there was more than one person around him. At the time that Katie got identified,
Why though?
John, all three of us were sitting in the living room. I mean, from 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah. So he got the alibi, right? Like, oh, I was chilling with them, so that's why he was. Yeah.
When he came back home, till me and my boyfriend left for work the next morning, he was there.
Notice how Crystal mentions that John got home at 5 p.m. and stayed there the entire evening until morning. It's a detail that would later turn out to be part of John's manipulation.
So, if you had
What?
to take
How
a
is
guess,
that part of manipulation? Damn.
so if you had to take a guess at who killed her, who's that?
I don't know because I heard a lot of things, and I know she had a tender, and I know that she was dating a lot of people. From
She was a fuck,
Cheyenne
bro.
telling me that she took a lot of people down in the house. I didn't even know the house existed.
Wow. So that was. It's not even a hangout spot. It's literally a place where they do all type of things. Damn.
And I know that she was dating a lot of people. From Cheyenne telling me that she took a lot of people down in the house.
How does your niece know about that? Like, Cheyenne is Katie's niece, by the way. How does your niece know that you're dating people and you're going to the house and doing all type of things? Like, how do your niece know that, bro? What the fuck,
I didn't
bro?
even know the house existed.
And she didn't even know. What the fuck, bro?
What were John's feelings or thoughts toward Katie to you?
I mean, I know that he loved her. I know that he still does. I mean, he's mad because of what Katie is accusing. He held the gun up to my head and stuff like that. And just by the way she was talking, I knew she was lying. Because that's what.
What the fuck? How do you know? Like, yeah, you're in on it, bro. Because how do you, bro? It don't make sense, bro. Bro, what the fuck? She's a real glitch though, because if she's not in on it, then how do you say that she's lying? Because Katie was not lying for sure. Katie was not lying, and then here you are saying, "Oh, I could tell she was lying." Yeah, she was lying. Like, you're so.
She did. Me and her used to get each other in trouble all the time in high school. That's what she would do. She would lie,
You're a fucking glitch, bro. I'm sorry.
Just as John hoped, Crystal's account added fuel to the idea he had planted. By emphasizing Katie's dating life, she unknowingly fed into John's narrative, suggesting the threat may have come from someone she was seeing, maybe even...
Yeah, because he was mentioning the dating thing too, right, John? And then she's mentioning it too. So it just sounds like it was a plan. Like if you get questioned by cops, mention a dating thing. She was dating a lot of people, so that so that the police don't have a spotlight on John. You know what I'm saying? Which is part of the plan.
Next came Catherine, John's ex-wife and the mother of his child. He had already made sure she wouldn't
child? Like, I don't get that. Like, how do you have a child and you do that thing to Katie, bro? Like, it don't make sense. Like, they're little weirdos, bro. How, bro? What the fuck?
Too much. Fear, and their shared child, would be enough to keep her quiet. And the mother of his child. He had already made sure she wouldn't say too much. Fear, and their shared child, would be enough to keep her quiet.
Wow. So he threatened her, bro.
Investigator Hawkins.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
With you being married to him for 7 years, with the drinking or even sober, has there been any violence between the two of you?
Man, yeah, like...
I mean, I'm not here to go and arrest him for something that happened, 10 years ago or anything like that, but
I just don't want to go into anything that had to do with us, because that doesn't have anything to do with what happened between him and me.
I mean, it's not that you're incriminating yourself.
He's a good guy. I mean, I'm alive.
Listen to that, bro. He's a good
guy.
3 seconds and then say God. Like, you know it's not true, bro. You're forced to say that.
He's a good guy. I mean, I'm alive. Bad joke, but I would assume I wouldn't be if he was that crazy.
You never know.
Yeah, you're thankful the way she said, I'm alive. She's thankful that she's alive.
Sometimes somebody's saying,
but he's never snapped with me for some reason.
well, you do have a kid, right?
Yeah. Very
Fuck,
bad,
man.
but
That's something to do with it. Alright, I'll give you a business card with my phone number on there.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Catherine's silence kept John safe for now, but the final interview with Katie's niece, Cheyenne, would not
Look
go.
at it. A whole kid knows about the hangout spot, or she was doing all type of what? How does she know about it, bro? Like, how do you have a niece and she?
According to John's plan, unlike Crystal or Catherine, she wouldn't protect him. Instead, she would point suspicion directly at John and reveal a motive that would tie everything together. For the first time, his carefully built plan would start to fall apart.
Alrighty. Your name is Cheyenne Paxton, is that correct?
Big ass sweater.
Okay. It is Thursday, October 27th.
Wait, bro. That's my food. Alright, let me bring my food real quick. So, damn. Yeah, it's crazy though. But it's weird how Cheyenne as a niece. Do you think it's just suspicious that this kid knows a lot about the hangout spot and all that? I don't know. It's so fucking weird, to be honest. I don't know, what the fuck? It don't make sense, bro. As a kid, how do you know all about that? So, it's weird as fuck though, I gotta be honest. It's really, really weird. And if you don't want to wait for me, then just skip ahead till I talk again in the video, right? So, yeah. Okay, let's get it.
8:52 a.m. Simpsonville Police Department. This is in reference to the homicide investigation of Caitlin Blackbelt. Have you ever seen John get violent towards Katie?
I've never seen him put his hands up. I've seen them argue.
When was Katie get down over to his house on the road?
In the last 3 weeks to a month, like I told.
So he says he hasn't seen her since July.
July. Yeah, no. He's seen her. I know. John is really angry at Katie for a lot of reasons.
Tell me what he's mad at her.
She knows that he's the one that killed her, bro.
That it's her fault. That all the way, that their relationship went bad. And everything kind of went bad for a little while. He feels
She
like it's
knows
her
deep
fault,
inside, like, follow your
strong.
instincts, bro.
And that he got in any trouble. And he just blames it all on her, you know? And, I don't know if this matters or not, but I know he has like a $150,000 life insurance policy on her too.
The fuck? That much money?
I know it's not easy, especially when somebody close to you, but it's important. A lot of this information you gave us, good information that we need. So.
Cheyenne's interview gave detectives their first real motive pointing to John.
Yup.
But motive wasn't enough. They needed evidence.
They have a few leads, but they have no defined person of interest just yet.
As the investigation dragged on, the detectives' frustration began to grow. John had covered himself so carefully that they couldn't even get a judge to approve a DNA warrant. Without it, they had nothing that could tie him directly to Katie's final moments. It's now been 4 days since Katie was killed, and detectives didn't have any solid evidence. They knew John was smart, but so were they. Out of options and patience, they began planning something different. They began forming a new, risky, and very unconventional plan. In just 2 days, they would set a trap for...
Yeah, look at that, bro, because police officers, they don't always just... It's not always the things you expect. Like, if you did a crime, then they're gonna come to your house. They want you in the police station, ask you a few questions. Like, look at them, bro. They're making a whole plan. They're making a whole plan to get some evidence on him and arrest him. Damn, bro. The police officers really do that, though.
John, a trap at Katie's
See,
home.
look, they're making a trap, bro, so they're able to arrest him. Damn. It's not wrong, though, of course, but it's like, yeah, police officers do that, bro.
Funeral. In the days leading up to the funeral, detectives stayed ready. While they waited, Katie's family mourned and tried to make sense of what happened. 22-year-old Katie had spent the past year working at PetSmart, surrounded by animals she was saving and taking care of. She was easygoing and warm, quick to make friends, and...
Damn, it's weirdo. Like, this girl was taking care of animals and all that. So you get the notion that she was all this sweet girl that's just so caring and all that. But at the same time, she was a thought, bro. Thought. Damn. Rest in
close
peace,
with her
though.
family, but her peaceful life from just days earlier would make what was about to come only more unsettling.
And by the way, even though she's dead, and I call her a thought and all that, it's not meant to be disrespectful in any way. Like, it's meant to notion or point out to what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, when I use the word thought or no matter what, it's never meant to disrespect. It's more so a point to what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like an arrow, like using this specific word is the best description type thing. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying?
As the day of the funeral came, detectives entered the funeral home early, working quietly before guests began to arrive. They positioned hidden cameras around the room and secretly wired the space for sound. Everything inside the funeral home looked normal.
Damn.
In reality, detectives controlled every detail. They'd placed cups of water and other drinks for
Boom,
guests.
police officer went to the fucking funeral, bro. Look at that shit, bro.
Could easily reach them. The plan was simple. Get John to drink from one of the cups, catch it on video, collect his DNA from the cup, and compare it to the DNA found on Katie's body. On October 30th, the day of the funeral, detectives set their plan into motion. But what their cameras are about to capture goes far beyond anything they expect.
Imagine that, bro. Like, he thought that police officers wouldn't do something like this, but they do, though. He just thought that they will just do their basic things, you know, ask you questions, detain you, you know what I'm saying, all that. You know, he never expected this. Like, they had a whole camera at the funeral, all that, bro. Damn. Why are they whispering? Look at her laughing, bro. 17-year-old
As
girl.
John leaves the funeral home, detectives know their plan has worked. They quickly return to retrieve the cup he drank from and the hidden camera they placed earlier. When they review the footage
That
of
was the
cup
hidden
he
camera?
drank from and
That
the
is
hidden
not hidden
camera
at
they
all, my
placed
guy.
earlier.
That is not hidden at all. That is so noticeable. Fuck, bro. And it worked. Damn. So maybe they put some things in front of the camera to, you know, hide it, but still have vision of all that. Damn.
When they review the footage, 3 critical things stand out, all of which will become pivotal to the entire investigation. The first is exactly what they were hoping for. John drinks from one of the cups and leaves it behind, giving detectives the evidence they need to collect his DNA without a warrant.
Oh, this would have failed if he decided to carry the cup with him for a reason or another, you know? But of course, it's worth a shot doing this, you know? Getting the DNA from the cup, hoping that he will throw the cup
And
nearby
compare
in the
it to the
trash can or
samples
something.
found on Katie. The second detail is something they never expected. The footage captures John walking up to the casket, taking pictures of Katie's body while
Wow.
making unsettling comments. And the third,
Wow,
perhaps
what the
most
fuck?
unsettling of all, is that John isn't alone. Standing beside him is an unidentified young woman who quietly tells him to stop taking pictures, then giggles moments later. Her behavior immediately drew attention, and detectives decided to collect her cup as well for DNA testing. And when they began digging into her identity, they discovered the woman was 17-year-old Hannah Thompson, a friend.
Does she look evil at all? Not at all, my guy. But damn. See, this is one of those, you can't judge a book by its cover. She looks so sweet, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's a good, nice person. But damn, what we just saw there says it all, bro. All this is fake. Or maybe you can see in the eyes that, you know, that this expression is just fake, you know?
And more recently, John's
Roommate of John. Everyone who was a roommate of John was all in
new roommate. They
real
also
shit, bro.
learned that she had once been close friends with Katie. Given her connection to John and Katie and her strange behavior at the funeral, detectives know Hannah isn't just another witness. She might be the key to solving the entire case.
Yeah, maybe she was in
and they
on
were
it.
dead
Maybe
on.
she did it with, yeah.
At this point, detectives have
and he didn't
interviewed
do it
Wayne,
alone.
John, and people from both John and Katie's circle. They also collected crucial evidence and leads, and now believe that Hannah, the 17-year-old who lived with John, could be the key to uncovering the truth about Katie's murder. The next day, on October 31st, a week after Katie's death, detectives approach Hannah and bring her in for interrogation. If anyone knows what really happened, it's her.
When was the last time you saw Katie?
Like a few months ago.
Is that a Hannah person?
A week after Katie's death, detectives approach Hannah and bring her in for
Yeah.
interrogation.
Last time
She looks so different. Like, see,
Like a few
that's
months
an
ago.
evil person, you know
what
what I'm
was your
saying?
feelings towards her?
I mean, I've always seen her as like a friend because like I lived with her for a little bit.
Right. So is it fair to say you were on good terms with her when she was killed?
Mm-hmm.
Did you end up going to her visitation Saturday?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you didn't get to say goodbye to her?
Oh, you were lying about the funeral thing?
I know John, I think,
It
went
was
there
Dr.
Sunday,
Dave.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You didn't get to go with him?
I went with him, yeah. I didn't go Saturday because
They went
her
to South
family
Sunday.
doesn't really like me
Oh,
because of her niece Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like kind of like off and on friends, and I think she might have said something.
Well, why are you friends with Katie's niece? Yeah, it don't make sense, bro. Like, it's so
About
weird.
me that her family didn't really like me.
Did you go in the room?
What a freaking kid,
pay
bro. Like,
respects,
damn.
or how did that go?
It was hard. It was really hard.
How long did you stay in the room with your casket?
This Shine is 17, and that makes sense. But other than that, it wouldn't make sense if she was younger.
Like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
What did y'all talk about while you were in there?
We didn't talk at all.
Nothing.
We just see each other moments, I guess.
John never take his cell phone out and take a picture of her?
No, he didn't.
You sure? Or you can tell me. Some people do that.
Yeah, no, he never did.
You can, you know, if
John
you was
never take
hurt,
his cell phone out and take.
you heard that freaking question. Like, why are you specifically asking that when we visited the funeral? You know what I'm saying? How do you just ask if you took a picture of a dead body? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was her, I already know that they know what we were doing, you know? Damn.
Picture of her?
No, he didn't.
You sure? Or you can tell me.
Yeah, look at a
Some
fake
people
ass
do that.
freaking lie, bro. I hate people like
Watch
that.
Hannah's behavior closely. As the questions get more direct, her eyes start darting between the detectives. She fidgets with her hands, picks at her nails. Her whole demeanor shifts. It's clear she's getting nervous. And the detectives can see it too.
So while you were in that room, you two never talked at all?
I kind of rubbed his back a little bit. You know, I told him that it was okay, but other than that, we didn't really talk.
Was he crying?
Evil ass people.
It's just hard, like, seeing somebody cry.
I bet.
You didn't even answer if you cried or not.
Monday night at some point before you went out, you guys carried out a bag of trash to your car. Or to his car, right?
I don't.
So you don't recall carrying out a trash bag or him cleaning anything up? Having to put stuff in the trash?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On Monday, the day Katie was killed, one of their roommates reported seeing John and Hannah carrying out several bags of trash. At the time, detectives didn't think much of it. It felt like a small, irrelevant
cut the body
detail
in
with
pieces.
nothing to back it up. But now,
put it
with
in
all
trash
this
bags.
new information coming together, that statement suddenly stood out.
You know, right now, as we're watching this, like, how did the case go freaking 7 years later? You know what I'm saying? Because they got the cup. You know, they can scan the DNA with Katie's fingernails. You know, the blood under her fingernails, and then it's a match. We can go arrest them. Like, how did this last 7 years?
It was another piece of the puzzle, something they could finally use to put more pressure on Hannah.
Just so you understand, we've been working this case steady since she just...
I hate that bitch, bro. She's
There's
a
a lot of these
bitch.
things that we know the answers to. I can tell you already, you're lying to me. Okay?
Yep.
You do not want to get wrapped up in catching the murder charge. I'm going to tell you a little something. At the funeral home, we were there. Okay? There was a camera in the room. There was a recorder in the room. We heard everything you guys said. So do you want to go back and rehash that?
I don't. It was not easy to see her like that.
Giggling and all that.
There's not any giggling.
We've been doing this longer than you've been alive.
We've been doing this in a lot of bed, like.
Slicker than us. You know, you're not going to outsmart us. We've talked to people. This is a murder. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about somebody that would stab a girl in the neck to the point where the knife went all the way through to the other side? And then sit her body like a piece of trash in the basement of an abandoned house to sit there for a day and a half before somebody...
Yeah, look at her.
Look at her. She's right here.
I want to look at her.
That's your friend.
Yeah, you was giggling. Yeah, don't act like you can't look at her, bro.
Don't want to do what? Don't want to help us find out who killed her?
All you got to do is tell the truth.
Yeah, but you know, this justice system really holds you back because honestly, this type of person, you really want to do everything. You want to choke her out and all type of shit, bro. But damn, bro. Shut the fuck up. Bro, if I was the police officer, I'd take the picture and shove it in their face, bro.
Can I tell you something? To
Of
tell
Katie's
the
dead
truth,
body.
you don't have to try. It just flows. It just comes out.
The truth, yeah, listen to what he said, bro.
To try. It just...
The truth just flows, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, you know, and look at her expression. Everything, her expression, everything just tells the truth, you know what I'm
It
saying?
just comes out.
It isn't what he's practically saying, but you know what I
People have told
mean?
us about you and Katie. They're telling us that you didn't like her one bit.
Bitch.
Well, after me and John started,
Look, she's desperate, you know, look at her movement. She's desperate in trying to get them to trust her or
if you
believe
know
her.
something and you're trying to cover up for it, you're gonna go down with the rest of them. You're gonna go down with the person who did this to her.
Yeah, bitch.
I don't know anything about her murder.
Shut the fuck up.
You do.
I really don't.
We really do. You do. We know more than you think we do.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
Good luck, Jake.
Yeah,
Even
bitch, good
after
luck.
being confronted with the footage and being caught in multiple
She's
lies,
fucked, bro.
Hannah refused to give up on any additional details she may withhold. But while none of this gave detectives the definitive proof they needed, John didn't know that. And that uncertainty was exactly what they were counting on.
Oh,
So none
what
of this
did he
gave
know?
detectives the definitive proof they needed. John didn't know that, and that refused to give up on any additional details she may withhold. But while none of this gave detectives the definitive proof they needed, John didn't know that, and that uncertainty was exactly what they were counting on. So detectives decide to bring him in again, this time more prepared and ready to push harder than before. They planned to corner him with everything they had. But they'd have to be careful. If they pushed too far without enough to arrest him, it could tip him off, causing him to disappear.
We haven't really had a chance to sit down. I know I talked to you that day that when we notified you about her death.
But how long did the DNA sample take? Like, haven't they even... Why are they doing this? Like, test the DNA, oh, it's a match, arrest them, right? Like, why did doing this.
Things are kind of emotional and everything, so. Right. So the viewing was Saturday, right?
Right.
Does it take that long?
Saturday.
When did you get
I went
there?
Sunday.
I don't think so.
Okay. So they just had a private thing for you? Did you go by yourself?
Yeah. Well, I took Hannah with me. Yeah.
How was that hard?
Yeah. Because, I mean, first of all, there's nobody there but me and her. So we're just kind of standing there staring at, like, Katie's nasty, like, dirty, disgusting body. I've seen people dead. I've fucking dealt with this shit before. And now there's nobody else there. You know what I mean?
That night, somebody says you and Hannah were putting some trash from a bag, like a trash bag in the back of the Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember doing that?
Oh, yeah. Marley had, like, the most explosive shit all on the floor and stunk up the whole house. I threw out, like, 4 towels.
Yeah, freaking lie.
This moment reveals Hannah's lie. She claims she couldn't remember taking any trash out, yet John's statement confirms otherwise. It's a small clue, but one that'll soon become part of a much bigger picture.
So you guys got home around 3 roughly?
Yeah.
Brandon and Crystal were there. What happened after that?
We went and met my friend Scott to get some money that he owes me.
What did you?
He owed me $500 for when he crashed my car.
Where'd y'all meet with Scott?
At the Zaxby's on Thursday.
So he was in the Army with you?
Yeah. Yeah, we deployed together.
Did you go anywhere before that?
No.
This is where John makes his first mistake, mentioning a name detectives have never heard before. Charles Scott, his friend from the military, someone who'd later prove to know far more about the night Katie died than anyone realized.
Damn.
I don't know how much you know about.
You probably brag about it in front to Charlie.
As you go around, your cell phone's constantly
searching
for signals and stuff like that. So with that said, is there anything, going back to last Monday, is there anything that you've told me that your cell phone records would say otherwise?
I don't believe so.
What if I told you that your cell phone did ping somewhere other than where you say you were?
Then I also say that her cell phone pinged in West Virginia.
Yeah, that ended up being a AT&T mishap. They plugged in the wrong phone number.
Yeah, I don't know.
What if I told you that Charles Scott's phone number pinged in the same area that yours did and not around Zaxby's?
When?
Monday night.
Scott Prismo moving on now. We can call him. We can ask him.
So this Monday night that we're talking about around 6:15, sometime around that time frame.
That Charlie guy probably does the same thing he does.
You were in that area of Augusta Road and White Horse Road?
No.
Is there any reason you and Charles were talking a lot?
Charles, okay.
Evening?
Yeah, because that's the night that he was here. That's the night he was available.
I'm not looking to offend you. There's questions that we need to get answered and cleared up.
Okay.
Did Katie have any kind of life insurance policy?
Through the military, yeah. She's automatically enrolled.
Okay.
Same with my daughter.
Would you be willing to take polygraphs so we can go ahead and do that for you and eliminate you and start looking elsewhere?
I have to talk to my lawyer about that first.
Okay.
See what he says, because I don't know about that at all.
As the interview ends, detectives have their first real connection between John and Charles. Both of their phones show activity near the area where Katie's body was found. It isn't enough to make an arrest, but it's enough to keep digging. And with a new name now tied to the night of the murder, John can sense it. Detectives are closing in. At this point, the main circle of suspects included Wayne, John, Hannah, and now more recently, Charles Scott, John's friend from the Army. But as detectives slowly pressed forward, John was growing uneasy. For the first time, he was starting to realize his master plan
He was
might not
touching his
hold.
arm all that.
That's when, on November 4th, 11 days after Katie was killed, detectives received a call that would send the case in a whole new direction. Crystal, who was John's roommate and had been interviewed earlier, came forward with information that changed everything.
Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
How are you?
What's been going on since, I don't know, you got a phone call on Wednesday?
At 3:30, he called and he
Why
said
the quality of the camera so trash though? Yeah, it don't make sense.
He said, "Are y'all at home?" And we said, "No." And he said, "Okay, all right, bye."
In 2016 too though.
Well, me and Brandon got home about 6:15, 6:30, and we seen that in our room we have
Like I said, the Halloween light's just going across the ceiling. The attic is right where that light is at. And I had the lights going across the attic. Well, when we come back, they were just torn down. We haven't even touched them. They were just ripped out from the attic. And once we figured out he was gone, we went searching through the house, making sure all the windows were locked and covered. And because I've never been in a house alone like that, except for my apartment. But he was gone. You know, and we couldn't call him because the cops have his phone. I said, Brandon, we need to go back outside and call the Simpsonville Detective Warlock. And I told him what was happening, and he was like, I was like, if you want to come and search the house right now, I'll give you full permission. He said, well, I can't do that without a warrant. And he was like, and I was like, well, I mean, there's no way that somebody can come out here and like search the house or anything like that. And he said, no. He said, your best bet is to go stay the night somewhere else. He was like, because you're possibly living with a murderer.
John was gone. His disappearance also meant he abandoned his military service, officially classifying him as a deserter. However, as investigators would soon learn, he wasn't alone. He had fled with none other than a 17-year-old girl, Hannah Thompson. And as officers across the state searched every highway, every motel, every possible route out of South Carolina with no sign of either of them, it became...
The cops really got that ability though. They can check every highway, every road, everything, every motel.
Clear, this wasn't just an investigation anymore. This was a manhunt.
Yup.
In the days that followed, leads were few. The pair had vanished completely off the grid. A 28-year-old former Army sergeant and a 17-year-old teenager, gone without a trace. Then, on November 19th, 26 days after Katie's death, a small breakthrough happened. John's red Yukon was captured on CCTV near Las Cruces, New Mexico.
I never heard that car,
1,600 miles from Simpsonville, South Carolina, where he disappeared.
All the way... Damn, we traveled all the way there though.
And just 2 days later, on November 21st, that same Yukon was found.
Damn. I really believe that in America, if you did something and you just disappear, even though the cops are after you, like, they're not gonna find you, you know? But look at that. They tracked him all the way here. I don't even know which part of America that is. I'm not American, bro. I know California is here, you know? So this part, I don't really know. And then they tracked the car all the way there.
Abandoned in the mountains of Umatilla County in Oregon, over 1,400 miles away from Las Cruces. Inside the vehicle, investigators found John's laptop, clothes, and camping gear scattered around, suggesting that after the crash, John and Hannah grabbed what they could and ran into the woods. The discovery confirmed what detectives had already feared. John and Hannah were constantly on the move, crossing state lines and staying just far enough ahead of law enforcement to vanish again. Later that same day, authorities issued arrest warrants for both John and Hannah, officially turning the case into a nationwide manhunt. By this point, John and Hannah had already been on the run for over 2 weeks before any warrants were ever issued, putting them far ahead of law enforcement and nearly impossible to track.
Wow, and that's why it lasted so long.
Warrants went active. Detectives finally gained full access to their phones, chat logs, and internet history.
Damn, so cops... I thought cops could look at a chat and everything from the start, you know what I'm saying?
And that's when their worst suspicions were confirmed.
I just woke up and I already feel sad again. I feel like you're still talking to Katie.
I promise you I'm not talking to Katie.
I will leave you if you talk to her. I swear.
I know. I'm not and I won't. She's gone. I'm done with her. I promise.
I'm going through with that thing though soon.
I'm gonna be staying with you.
Good.
The messages between the two suggest that John had been planning the murder for months prior to it actually happening. And upon searching his internet history, they found searches like how to make a two-way radio.
Like, if you already looked up what they were searching and all that on the internet, you would have known everything from the get-go.
Or how to sharpen a knife, leaving little to no doubt about his involvement. But with John and Hannah still missing, detectives had little choice but to wait, hoping for the next break that could pull them back on the trail. And that's when, on November 25th, 21 days after John and Hannah's disappearance and over a month after Katie's death, detectives got a call from a South Carolina prison. But the caller wasn't just anyone. The call came from the cellmate of Charles Scott, John's army friend who was already in custody for an unrelated charge. Charles's phone had pinged near the abandoned house on the day Katie died, and his cellmate was about to provide a lead that could give detectives the breakthrough they desperately needed, with details only the killer could have known.
As we're talking today, is that Charles Scott you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. He's up in there and killed a girl. Helped kill that girl with one of his buddies.
Wow, he was actually, yeah, I knew it. He was actually there with him.
He's up in there and killed a girl. Helped kill that girl with one of his buddies. Named John, something like that. You know, they have put her in a drug house or an abandoned house, in a basement, in a box. That takes two people to open. He was the one that coerced her to the spot where John come up behind her and got her, grabbed her. And they met at a different location. When John got her, they put the knife to her. John stabbed her. I don't know how many times John stabbed her. He didn't say. He said he knows he stabbed her twice, and John made him stab her twice. He actually said it scared him when he stabbed her at first, but then after he stabbed her, it made him feel a little better.
William's statements are shocking. His account of what happened closely
Most
mirrors
probably
the
Charles went in
possible
that
events
weird
of the
thing
night
too.
Katie died,
Not
and what he
just
says
John.
next only grows more disturbing.
He said, well, this is the second time. The first time he told him about, you know, how he coerced her to come to the spot. Now he was going to talk about something about John, trying to help John come off of marijuana, and John's on drugs real bad. After John grabbed her, they put her in John's Tahoe.
Man, look at him, bro. He got cuffs to his leg and hands. Damn, bro. He did something real bad though to be chained up like that. Or is that normal procedure in US when you get arrested? Like, I don't know. How do you... Yeah, that is freaking... Damn. Chained like a freaking asylum inmate, bro. Like, damn. Damn, bro.
Red Tahoe, took her to the scene. So where did they say where they actually killed her at? In the back of the Tahoe, on the tarp.
On the tarp.
I said, have they took your DNA? He said, no. I said, well, that's a good thing. I said, your DNA at the crime scene. He said, they hadn't took my DNA, it's not going to be there.
Wow, so the DNA didn't even... Wow, they didn't even mention that though. That the cup and the DNA had a match or something. Wow, they didn't even mention that. Oh wow, so maybe the blood, yeah, the blood on the fingernails is Charles' blood, and that's why it didn't come up as a match. So the DNA samples, it doesn't show names and everything. You can only take a sample of a DNA and then take another sample from another source, and then you can only see if it's a match or not. You know what I'm saying? You can't see names and all that.
Including the interview at 11:02 a.m.
Mark's statements put serious allegations on Charles. It wouldn't be anything special, as false accusations like this happen when inmates try to get a deal with officers or get their sentence lowered. But in this instance, too many details added up. Details only the killer or someone heavily involved could have known. One of those was his claim that Charles had lured Katie to a location near the abandoned house. For detectives, this suddenly made sense of why her car had been discovered just a few miles away, abandoned without a struggle. Charles also allegedly told his bunkmate that he and John wrapped Katie in a tarp to move her into the basement. This matched forensics, which had already indicated she'd been moved after death. Now detectives have a chilling theory of how that happened. It was now a very big chance for the detectives to possibly catch one of Katie's killers. A chance they couldn't afford to waste. So without hesitation, they brought Charles in, hoping for the biggest breakthrough in the case yet. But detectives knew getting Charles to...
And look at that, bro. Like, Charles is only chained like that, but the other dude was chained all the way. Like some Arkham Asylum
talk
thing, bro.
wouldn't be easy. They didn't have enough evidence.
Damn, Charles got that, what's that hairline, bro? What the fuck? Damn. What is that? That looks like something dirty, bro. Like, look at that shape. Damn, motherfucker. Dude got I don't even know what this is, bro. What the fuck?
Detectives knew getting Charles to talk wouldn't be easy. They didn't have enough evidence to pin him down, and they needed something, anything, that could make him slip. So they decided to take an insane risk. They came up with a plan to push him over the edge.
Yeah.
They would bluff, pretending that John had already been arrested and was ready to testify against him. If Charles believed it, the pressure might finally make him talk. But if he didn't, detectives would lose their best chance to get the truth.
Let's get away from the polygraph, okay? Because you've been saying that ever since I read the warrant to you, okay? Because it's not looking good for you. Okay?
I have absolutely nothing to do with that girl's murder. God, please take a polygraph.
What's a polygraph test?
Let me tell you that John was arrested in New Jersey. Okay? And he sang like a bird to those investigators.
I don't care what he told you.
Well, you should.
I was not there.
Investigator Manley told you that John was arrested earlier.
Okay.
And he's talking. What do you think he's saying?
I don't know what he's saying. I don't know, but I know I've never seen that girl a day of my life.
You were both
There's
there.
pressure though.
No, we
So
were
it's
not.
working.
As soon as the questioning...
Dude is looking at TikTok and everything.
As soon as the questioning
Damn.
starts, Charles demands a polygraph. And detectives know exactly what that means. Polygraphs aren't reliable, can be manipulated, and their results can't be used in court. It's an
Oh.
easy way out. Simple yes or no questions instead of a real confrontation. And before long, his
Oh, is that what
avoidance...
polygraph is? Let's check it out. What's a polygraph, bro? It's a polygraph test, bro. What is that, bro? Oh, it's a lie detector. Okay.
turns into an act of ignorance.
I never seen that
But
girl.
you knew that they were married, and you knew that John had problems.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Yeah, it's a bigger chance, doing a lie detector test and getting out than doing interrogation.
You told me at the Fountain Police Department that John has talked about how she was fucking his career up.
That was a lie. Talking about you singing like a bird. I never had no weapon. You will not find no fingerprints on no weapon that I touched. Number one.
Why not?
Because I wasn't there. I didn't touch no weapon. I never had no weapon.
But he said, I'll never find fingerprints on a weapon that you touched.
Yeah. So I guarantee you.
Yeah, that show's so specific though.
I never had no weapon.
What is it say? Oh, no weapon that I touched.
Number one.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I wasn't there.
And you can look at the cops' faces. They were so intrigued when he mentioned that.
Weapon that I touched. Number one.
Why not?
Because I wasn't there. I didn't
Yeah, I
touch
said
no
that no,
weapon.
bro.
I never had no weapon.
But he said, I'll never find fingerprints on a weapon that you touched.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you. Have you ever told anybody that you're involved in this murder?
Do I look stupid? Do I look like I would just go inside of a fucking jail to some guy I don't know and say, hey man, I murdered some girl?
No, it looks like you were remorseful for your actions. Let me ask you this, where's the phone that you had that you communicated with Katie on?
Who's Kate? The girl that died?
Yeah.
I never communicated with her.
Where's the phone?
What phone?
The phone that was used to communicate with the girl the day that she was murdered.
Only phone that I had was the one you confiscated and the one at Miss Christie's house.
Even after the detectives bluff and revealed the testimony his previous cellmate made about Charles' involvement in the crime, he denied everything. Still, detectives couldn't ignore the phone data placing
Wow,
him
so
near
the
the
plan
house
didn't work
or the
though.
chilling details from his bunkmate. With no confession, all they could do was wait. Charles's DNA was now added to...
And yeah, why is that a prison thing? Like he's wearing orange and he's wearing red. Like, is there a color thing? Like those who's wearing orange gets in 3-star security jails, But these are the type of people that get 5 stars maximum security. You know, is that like a thing? I don't know.
The samples already being tested against the evidence found beneath Katie's fingernails. And when those results came back,
yeah, look at that. The blood on their fingernails was freaking Charles' blood. I knew it. Yeah, look at that shit, bro.
who was truly involved.
Yep.
Over 2 weeks have now passed since the last lead on the case.
Last 7
False
years, bro.
leads and missing crucial timelines. It was becoming more and more possible that the real killers of Katie would never be found. Until the detectives got a call from Hannah's parents with information that could soon result in solving the whole case. Hannah had resurfaced, stating she had been abandoned by John and would soon come back to her hometown, so law enforcement would be there waiting for her.
Yup, look at that shit, bro.
It was now that...
Bro, when you got a case, they're really waiting on the opportunity to catch you, bro. Like, look at that. She went back to the home and everything, so they was waiting on her, bro.
Day when Hannah was supposed to come back to her home.
Bro, when you have a case against you, you're on a wanted level. For real, for real. They check every road you went, every hotel, restaurant, everything, bro. Damn.
Law enforcement secured all entries to the city, as well as all possible places.
Look at that shit, bro.
And finally, at 9 a.m., she would be spotted near her family home.
Yep.
From there, she would be instantly detained and taken to the police department for interrogation. For the detective...
So that means they have people waiting outside of John's house in case she came there. The abandoned building. There, and there. Where this is, maybe... I don't know, where she used to work or anything, and then her house, family house, where her parents live.
She would be spotted near her family home. From there, she would be instantly detained and taken to the police department for interrogation. For the detectives, it was now or never. That was their biggest chance of finding out what had really happened and who is truly responsible for Katie's death.
What was the game plan when you guys left? I don't think we really had one. Like, I guess both of us just kind of panicked and he decided that he wanted to leave, like, the state. And we, like, drove up into the mountains and he just got the car, like, stuck in the trees, like, in the mountains. So I was like, what are we gonna do? And he said that we would hike. I kind of, like, stopped and I was crying and I was like,
what made her go back though?
I was like, I need to go home.
Wow. So she was like, yeah, I don't like this hiking thing, like this running away from the law. So that's why she decided to leave. Wow. What a bitch, bro.
Then, like, one morning,
the dude really made her try to make her stay, bro. Like, I'm gonna kill myself, bro, if you don't. Yeah.
He had gotten up and left, and then I was just like, I'm not just gonna like sit here. Like, I got up and I went to like down the street to like a hotel, started crying, and then I sent a message to my mom and dad.
Hannah continued describing their time on the run, doing her best to avoid talking about the day of the murder. It went on for nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, look at her, bro. She's still trying to hide the murder and everything. Bro, I'll arrest her,
By
bro.
then, the pressure had clearly worn her down. That's when the detective would start asking her the difficult questions, causing Hannah to break, revealing everything she knows.
Let's go back to that Monday, okay? Because we now have a conversation between you and him on Wednesday about he's going to meet up with her, he's going to drink some beers with her at this abandoned house. He said he tries to meet up with her, it doesn't work. But then lo and behold, she's found at that abandoned house that he was supposed to go meet up with her at. Meanwhile, he randomly asks you to drop her off on Woodruff Road, or drop him off on Woodruff Road, and doesn't tell you why or anything. Okay? So can you please tell me what the game plan was? What did he tell you he was going to go and do? He told me that he was just going to go over to her at work. You drove him over there. He kept telling me, like, every day that, like, it was my fault.
like, what did he say he did for you? He said that when we were in 40 and that he knows me, like he yelled it really loud. He said that he killed her for me.
Yeah, of course, bro. Like, bro, you really said, what a bitch, bro. She really told him, like, stop talking to her, get rid of her, or I'll never talk to you again. And then she's gonna act like that. Like, what the fuck, bro? She didn't actually. Did she even. We don't even know if she initiated or came up with the idea of the plan. I
Was
don't
there a
know.
plan before this to get rid of Katie? Not from you, but did John ever talk to you about getting rid of Katie? Honestly. What did he tell you about killing Katie?
He just said that like he was really like 40. I mean, the night broke.
What she did.
He just said that like he was really.
But you just said,
About
like.
getting rid of Katie. Honestly. What did he tell you about killing Katie?
He just
No, you knew
said
about
that
Katie
like
dying.
he was really like 40. I mean, the night broke.
How are you gonna say that he never talked to you about getting rid of her, and then you're just, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, the hand and blow broke, the blood and all that.
What did he tell you about killing Katie?
He just said that like.
They're so fake, bro. Like the touching and everything. Like she was in on a murder, bro. Like you don't like her at all. You know, all that just for a confession. You know what I'm saying? Getting all the information out.
Now, and she said that before that if he let her go, that she wouldn't call the police.
Where were they, Henry?
In the house.
And you don't know exactly where he could be or what he said. Hannah, did you have anything to do with killing Katie? And the reason why I ask you this is because we're still hunting for John. Okay? And as much as you think John cared about you, from an outsider's perspective, not knowing you, not being your mom, he doesn't.
Unfortunately, Hannah's statements proved far less helpful in finding.
Yeah, of course, because if he didn't care about her, if he cared about her, then he wouldn't have left her, you know, at Oregon. So obviously he didn't care about her.
John than the detectives initially hoped for. Although she stated that John confessed to killing Katie and provided some new insights, she didn't know much about Charles's involvement. And while she could be arrested, detectives decided she might prove more useful free. After all, they now had her back in the city and under close watch, which seemed like a small success.
Yeah,
what they
now
didn't
you're under
realize,
supervision,
however,
all that.
was
Damn.
that this was all part of John's plan.
What?
Planting Hannah back in the city to infiltrate the case and feed him exactly what detectives knew, keeping him one step ahead for years to come.
Wow, and that's why. Damn.
Almost 3 months had passed since Katie's body was found in the basement of the abandoned house, and the killer was still out there. But on that particular day, the long-awaited DNA results finally came back. And the results of DNA found under...
It took 3 months for all that DNA thing? What the fuck?
Katie's fingernails pointed to no one else but John.
What? But bro, what was that thing about with Charles though? The DNA thing, wasn't that him? Like, what was that? Yeah, here.
Results came back, they would finally reveal who was true. DNA was now added to the samples already being tested against the evidence found beneath Katie's fingernails. And when those results came back, they would finally reveal who was truly involved.
Okay, they just got his DNA. It wasn't, yeah. Damn. Didn't, yeah.
And the results of DNA
It took 3 months, bro.
Found under Katie's fingernails pointed to no one else but John himself. With the DNA matching to John, Wayne was cleared. But detectives still believed Hannah or Charles might have helped, or at least knew far more than they admitted. Detectives already knew that John was only using cash and most likely a fake ID. So all they could do at the moment was wait for John to make a critical mistake that would allow them to catch him. But John was careful. Very careful. It had been over 7 months since Katie's murder and 6 months since John went on the run, when on May 21st, 2017, investigators received tips and possible sightings of John in Washington, over 2,700 miles from South Carolina,
all the
where
way
Katie
over
was
there,
found
bro.
dead, and over 300 miles away from where his red Yukon was found abandoned. Acting on these leads, they canvassed local businesses and
Why don't you
retrieved
just move to another country though? Like I think if you go to the airport and try and travel, they check your information, everything, and maybe they get like a ping or anything that yeah, you're wanted, you're on the run, and therefore you can't travel. So they're gonna make you stay while they're already calling the authorities and arrest you. But dude had fake ID and everything though, so you could have found a way and traveled to another country though, without public airport. Maybe a boat all the way to Europe just that way, and you're in Russia. Wait, are you in Russia? You're in Asia at least. You're in Asia at least if you travel that way. Yeah.
Over 300 miles away from where his red Yukon was found abandoned. Acting on these leads, they canvassed local businesses and retrieved CCTV footage
Because you
from
know,
miles away.
movies, when criminals in the US, they always just travel, to the nearest place. They either travel to, you ever watch Prison Break? Michael Scofield and his brother, they travel to Panama, bro, like, which is just Central America. It's just down there, and then other, characters, they travel to Mexico. Like, none of them has ever travel to Asia or Africa or Europe, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
From where his red Yukon was
Which
found.
is a weird thing though. Like, the most obvious thing is just moving country, Stay as far away as possible,
Abandoned. Acting on these leads, they canvassed local businesses and retrieved CCTV footage from a parking lot in Washington where John was captured on camera.
What car is that though?
Unfortunately, despite getting close, John managed to slip away, vanishing off under the radar once again. Unfortunately, despite getting close, John managed to slip away, vanishing off under the radar once again.
You can tell it's a sensor right now.
For the next year, the investigation hit a standstill. It wasn't until September 6th, 2018, almost 2 years since Katie's death, when Hannah finally revealed that John had given her his journal and tools to hide, a crucial piece of evidence that would shift the case in a new direction. The journal became a pivotal piece of evidence, revealing John's state of mind and his premeditated intentions. It confirms that John's actions were driven by a deep desire to be with Hannah and his willingness to kill Katie to make that happen.
Wow.
During her interview,
I thought John gave her his belongings. Yeah, but why would you even give? Because assuming that she still is working with John, why would you give them the journal, that says, yeah, you killed, he killed her and everything.
Admitted she had been John's girlfriend and that she had been in constant contact with him before Katie's death. She also confessed that she had hidden John's journal, which contained disturbing entries about his obsessive thoughts and plans to escape with Hannah. This was the last significant breakthrough in the case for years. With no new leads, the investigation.
Whoa, that's also part of John. Yeah, look at that. That is all the things he needed before he killed her, And then the knife and everything. Everything was planned out.
Stalled. Detectives spent the next few years chasing down small tips and piecing together fragments of information, but nothing substantial came of it. The case gradually faded from public attention. Then, in 2022,
Wow.
information
So
stalled.
even after that, it just went that long?
Detectives spent the next few years chasing down small tips and piecing together fragments of information,
Wow.
but nothing substantial came of it.
So it
The
went
case
that long simply because he didn't make a mistake at all, like while he was on the run.
gradually
Damn.
faded
7
from public
years, bro.
attention. Then, in
2022.
2022, 6 years after Katie's death, everything is about to change. After over 6 years of dead ends, U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, cases don't ever fade away. It could have been 100 years, bro. Like, if you do make a mistake, they'll see that and like, yeah, it's that guy. We're gonna have to go arrest him all. Damn.
Tracked John down in Oregon.
When you're on a case, you're on the wanted list forever, bro. That 5-star doesn't fade away, you know what I'm saying? In GTA, the 5-star fades away, but in real life, no, bro. That 5-star is always there.
He had erased his past, now living under the alias Ben Klein.
Wow, grow a beard and all that. Wow.
Under his new identity, he had started a fresh life, marrying a new woman and leaving his past behind.
That's some Breaking Bad thing, you know, when Jesse freaking changed his identity and all that. What was the name he changed to? I don't remember. He changed his name too and lived in Alaska for the rest of his life. That was a well-deserved ending, right? Breaking Bad is a 10 out of 10, bro.
The arrest felt surreal. John, who had spent so
No
long
shirt,
evading
no
capture,
sacks and everything, they would have cut him.
was now cornered.
Yeah,
After
look at that
years
shit.
of hiding in plain sight, the truth
They record that shit, bro. Look at
of
it.
hiding in plain
Picture and
sight,
everything.
the truth had finally caught up with him, and the case was nearing its resolution.
So if you change your identity and everything, then they can't catch you. But what's the tip again? What led him to know, like, oh, it's he's here, you know what I'm saying?
U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement tracked John down in Oregon. He had erased his past, now living under
Okay,
the
they were still
alias
tracking him
Ben
and all.
Klein.
Yeah. Okay,
Under
okay,
his
okay.
new identity,
And they found
he had
out
started a
about
fresh
things,
life,
okay.
marrying a new woman with him, and the case was nearing its resolution. However, the mystery of how Katie was lured to the abandoned house remains unsolved.
It don't
to this
matter,
day.
bro,
Her
at this
phone
point.
was recovered damaged, limiting investigators' ability to access message content and app-based communications. And while rumors suggested Charles Scott might have had contact with her, this was never confirmed. With no physical or forensic evidence tying him to the crime, he was ultimately ruled out as a suspect and never sentenced.
What
In
the fuck?
2022, during
Bro,
an
the
interview after
justice system don't make
Charles
sense. Because I get it. He's another cellmate and he's possibly doing this in hope for reducing his sentence and everything, you know what I'm saying? He got chained up in his feet and his hands on some maximum security thing. Like, yeah, bro, I get that, but
Scott might have had contact with her. This was never confirmed.
still, bro, we know he was in on it, bro, with freaking John.
No physical or forensic
It's
evidence
obvious,
tying
bro.
him to the crime, he was ultimately ruled out as a suspect and never sentenced. In 2022, during an interview after John's arrest, Hannah revealed for the first time that she and John had been in regular contact throughout the years he was on the run, continuing to text and communicate, even after she had returned to South Carolina. This new revelation shed light on her role in helping John evade capture.
Okay, so she was still helping
Finally,
yeah.
on September 20th, 2024, John Blauvelt was convicted of Katie's murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Yeah, life in prison, bro. Like, I was about, yeah.
Hannah Thompson
I know if
was
she gotta get
charged
life
with
into
obstruction of justice
life.
and accessory after the fact, receiving a sentence of 10 years.
What the fuck, bro? Like, it don't even matter, bro. Like, 10 years, like, even though she didn't do the act itself, it's still a life sentence thing, bro. Like, how do you decide? Yeah, she just gonna get 10 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, no remorse, no anything. Too. There's nothing she could have done to make sure that she could only get 10 years in prison. She was helping freaking John the whole time, acting like she came here because of this and that, but she gets 10 years. And Charles gotta get arrested too. Was Charles in jail? Yeah, why was Charles wearing this orange thing though? Was he a cellmate too? The whole time? I thought he was free too though. Damn. So Charles was freaking, yeah, Charles gotta get extra sentence too, bro. Like, damn. Fuck, bro. Damn, but that's it though. Damn. Yeah, this was a good video. Let's look at the comments for a second, bro. Like, how fuck with your roommates in this entire video. Yeah, damn, bro. Like, this guy was on some weird shit though, bro. Like, yeah, like look at Wayne. Look at Wayne's perspective, bro. Like actually, it was interesting though. Like a few months, he got the idea that, oh, I should check out this abandoned house we used to go and do weird things at, and then he finds her dead body. Like, it's so sus as fuck, but at the same time, it ended up being that 1% chance that he wasn't a suspect at all. So from his perspective, it's like, damn, they're yelling at me like I did it. This detective was like, yeah, just yeah, damn. Who they know murder pre spouses? Yeah, yeah, damn, that shit is facts though. Listen to that shit. It always amazes me when people stick with someone who didn't know murder their previous spouse. You think you're special? They're measuring the next. For real though. For real, bro. For real. Why is this grown man with a 17-year-old and why does this 17-year-old look 30? Yeah, she ugly, bro. The killer had no mask plan. The cops were just as incompetent as usual. No, I don't think they're just incompetent, bro. But like, he was able to evade and all type of shit. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure when I read these comments, bro. Like, damn. Damn, is the actual bullshit that took 2 weeks to obtain arrest warrants? Yeah, for real though, because if he disappeared like that, then we all know that, yeah, he did it, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that it took 2 weeks to obtain arrest warrants, damn, bro. Make sure to remember that police tried to get an innocent man to confess. Yeah, that shit is true, bro. That shit happens, bro. Yeah, the Wayne guy, bro. But bro, at the same time, you would have thought it was Wayne too, bro. That's 63. I'm not going all the way apology. I gotta kiss his feet and everything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can Wayne file a lawsuit for that though? Can you do that? Because I at the same time, it was wrong on their part. But can you file a lawsuit against that and charge money for that? Damn, listen to that, bro. People seem to forget that Hannah didn't stay 17 and at 24, she was still up in murder. She has 7 years to find conscience, never did. Bro, people are just evil, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no, you know what I'm saying? Nasty, dirty, disgusting body. Yeah, I noticed that too, bro. When he said that, bro. When John was describing her body, and was like, yeah, when I saw this nasty, dirty, disgusting body while he's trying to look innocent, damn, yeah, that was fucking, yeah, like how it was fucking gross as fuck, bro. Seems irrelevant. Yeah, it didn't seem like they actually did a lot of that information It was just they treated it like an extra evidence or extra clue. You know what I'm saying? Damn, what the fuck, bro? Yeah, actually though, yeah, wasn't his face put out ever? Yeah, how was he able to do that though? Yeah, that's true though. If you ever killed a famous person, they'd be on you for real, for real. Fuck, bro. The cameras on me in that person. Yeah, that was bad quality, bro. That was bad quality. Why do you have bad quality? 2016, bro. 62 years of stupidity on Earth. How though? You couldn't easily. But how though? You. Fuck, bro. How do you do, bro? But how do you? Why are people against that? Like in that way, 62 years of stupidity on Earth. Like, how is that? Why is that stupidity for you when he thought Wayne did it? Like, Wayne's in exactly why I never talk to cops on lawyer. For real though, you know what I'm saying? Like, cops really just want that confession. In other countries too, they don't follow the law correctly. In Pakistan, in other countries, Japan, they fuck, bro. Japan, they do all type of shit. They try to get a confession out of you even though you didn't do it, but it's easier for them if they just pressure you to get that confession, and that's it. They don't really want to go and try and find out who did it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cops do that in Japan. It's fucked up. So yeah, bro, for real, for real. Yeah, how to string auto games, so I still believe it's the other guy. Yeah, for real, bro. Yeah, even though, yeah, if you're innocent, you still need a lawyer, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro, because there are people probably fell for these things. Damn. Gillian, yeah, bro, like, she was so evil, bro, and she was acting like so, fuck her, bro. Damn, actually, it is fucked up that they was trying to rush that confession, bro. Yeah, bro, that shit was fucked up. Yeah, bro. At the same time, it's yeah. Love how this video didn't even tell us how the killer was finally caught. It's like a story with zero climax, jumping straight to the resolution. I mean, they did. Yeah, they was hiding the fact, like how they was able to actually find, you know, John and his other identity as the Ben guy. I don't remember that other name. Yeah, but it's obvious though. They don't say that because they don't want us to learn how to, hide and shit. The fact that Cage kills things further by one instrument also for real, bro. Like she should have been arrested long ago. Yeah, bro, nasty and disgusting. Yeah, like how did a judge even like refuse to take the freaking DNA warrant? From the way the narrator said it, he said it like the way John was doing this and that. Because of that, the judge couldn't approve of taking a DNA sample of John or a DNA warrant. But at the same time, it's like, bro, he could have easily said, yeah, bro. Fuck, bro. Yeah, maybe the reason the people are like, yeah, these detectives are so stupid is because they didn't even do all evidence, investigation. They just took Wayne, right, and then immediately just try and get a confession out of him without even checking everything to make sure that it was actually Wayne before getting the confession out of him. Because that right there could have been is the reason why a lot of innocent people are in jail, actually, and that's sad, bro. Like, yeah, because in reality, none of us are gonna actually do that. When we see something like that, if we're not cops and we meet someone like Wayne, and we know about the dead body and everything, we're all assuming it's freaking Wayne, bro. Like, yeah. But as a cop, you gotta check everything because before you actually try and get a confession out of Wayne. Bro, Wayne really, there was a big chance Wayne would have been arrested, bro. Damn. Damn, that's freaking yeah, bro. Cops gotta just check everything, do a whole investigation before the confession, bro. Damn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Damn, bro. Yeah, that's true though. Yeah, she's dating so many guys. She's a liar. Yeah, bro. Damn, bro. Yeah, that's true though, you know what I'm saying? He never cared about Hannah at all. He just got a new wife and everything, bro. Yeah, that's weird though. They had access to the chat logs and everything. How did they not know? How did Hannah and John? How did they not know they were in contact with each other? They were texting, bro. They're still texting, bro. How did they not know that? For apps like Telegram and others, you can communicate in a way unless you have physical possession, no one know what you say. Damn, is that true? No, she needed a harder sentence, my guy. Yeah. Yeah, okay, you know what? That's it for now. I can't read all these comments forever. But yeah, that's it. Damn, that was a good ass fucking video. If you want to see more, press the like button and subscribe, of course. I need subscribers, bro. So, yeah.